Hello, welcome to the Aginity Pro version 33 update demo. In this brief video, I'll discuss and show off some cool new features we've just released, which include extended support for data insert, database filtering, support for Snowflake external tables, hover overlay on table names, and our new Transpose Grid. Well, let's talk about our data insert capabilities. But first, before diving into that, I'd like to mention that Aginity Pro already supports bulk upload into Redshift and Snowflake using their platform-specific protocols. Data upload over here, you can do bulk load into either of these two data platforms. But this requires the extra overhead of an intermediate connection to S3 or Azure Blob Storage. So in our last release, we rolled out a native SQL data insert wizard for DB2, which is found data upload, and you hit data insert, and this is the beginning of that wizard. Well, in this release, we're happy to announce that this streamlined data insert wizard is also now available for 3 additional platforms: Netezza, Hive, and Postgres, for up to 50,000 rows per batch. Here are the connections. We're going to do a demo here into Netezza. And I'm going to initially choose the insert template, which I already created, which streamlines this whole process even further. So with this import upload template added, all I have to do is select my file. So I'm going to select that connections, add, and here's the preview, and I would then just hit start upload up to 50,000 rows. That's simple. But I also want to showcase the different aspects of this wizard, and I'm going to have to get rid of the template for that. So we're going to start from scratch here. Connection Netezza, no upload template. Choose this same file, and got to specify that it has a header. All the defaults look good. Let me update the preview. Okay, and hit next. The start column, there's only five rows, so that's well, there's only 5 columns, so it chooses that by default. Import all the rows. Let's hit next. And here are the columns in my upload file, but I don't want this connected on column to be in my database, so I'm going to get rid of that and just have these 4 columns. And it defaults, looks at the data, tries to find out the data type and the precision, and you can edit this data type and whatnot directly here, and these are all by default nullable. Choose my database. I'm going to choose one called Crompton, which is my name, last name. Let's go here. There it is. And the schema is Crompton for myself. Table name contacts. And if the table already exists, you can choose what to do here. I'm just going to append, which is probably the most likely thing you would want to do when you're uploading new data, but it may not be likely depending on what your workflows are. And if this is a template that I want to save for future data inserts to this with the same profile, I would just hit Save Template right here. But I'm going to hit Start Upload. Status updates here, and it's been inserted. So if I now go to this database, I'm going to refresh the table, which I kind of didn't need to do because I'm not displaying data, but I'm going to copy the select statement to a new tab. Show up here, run at cursor, and here's my data. Now on to database filtering. When you're working with multiple database connections, you probably have dozens or maybe even hundreds of databases and schemas visible here within the Database Explorer. And when that's the case, expanding and collapsing to find what you need just doesn't cut it. But there's no worries now, because you can just click the new filter icon at the top of the Database Explorer to create, save, apply, and edit any number of named database filters relevant to your particular workflow needs. So I've got this test filter here and a few databases here already here, which is a lot simpler to look at this than the huge list if these are the only databases I need to worry about. but we're going to test adding a connection or adding a filter. So name this DB2 security demo, and I'm going to expand DB2 and select a few databases that I need. I want this one and that one, and you can select across different. You can select across your different platforms. Let's call this security demo. We'll pull in something from Snowflake as well. Save and apply. And now we've got these connections and these filters already here in place. And we can edit that or add new things to the filter. So that's really simple when you're working with a whole lot of databases. And while we're in the Database Explorer, let me get rid of this, reset the view here. While we're in the Database Explorer, I want to mention that we have support now for Snowflake external tables. This is a feature which itself just went GA in Snowflake. And not only can you use Aginity Pro to create external tables in Snowflake according to the process they've laid out in their documentation, Aginity Pro also offers even more visibility into external tables than is presently offered within Snowflake's own interface. Snowflake external tables are directly visible within Database Explorer, right alongside all of your other database objects. So you don't need to run any special queries to see what external tables you have. Well, let's move to from the code editor window into the code editor window and see two final new features within our version 33 release. The first is pretty simple, but also really helpful. We've added hover overlay support on table names. You hover over any table name in the editor, and you'll now see the column metadata, which is really helpful, and I think would help a lot of people that are trying to understand the back end of their data, their metadata, without doing additional analysis. And the last feature I'd like to show you is our new Transpose Grid. This is really one of the most awaited features among our power users. With a click now, a new results tab opens up with columns as rows and rows as columns. You get it transposed. This is really helpful when you have dozens of columns and you prefer to see a row of data by scrolling top to bottom instead of left to right. And this probably isn't the type of data you'd use, but just to understand how this works, you hit Transpose Results, and now we've got this new Transpose tab opened up with results, and our column names are over here. So we can now scroll. If we had a ton of column names, you can imagine they'd all be listed down, allowing a quick view of your data. But note that if you want to rerun the query, any of the transposed tabs are going to go away. This is to prevent potential discrepancy between the query and the transposed data. Lastly, this release also includes 15 plus bug fixes and application performance improvements. You can look at our release notes for additional information. Well, thank you.